Hello, hello. How are you today? I am very happy to see you. Welcome to my brand new channel. I am so excited to start this journey with you. Today, I want to tell you a very long story. It is a story about me, my tooth, and the big trip to the dentist. Do you like the dentist? No? Me neither. Most people are a little bit scared. But today, we will learn that it is okay. We will learn many new words together. So sit down, relax, and let's listen. It all started on a Tuesday. The sun was shining. The birds were singing. I was very happy. I was sitting on my favorite blue chair and eating a big bowl of ice cream. It was chocolate chip, my favorite. It was sweet, creamy, and very, very cold. I took a big, delicious bite, and then, oh no, my tooth! Ouch! It really, really hurt. It was like a little needle inside my gum. I stopped eating my ice cream. I looked at the spoon. I looked at the bowl. I was so sad. My beautiful ice cream was melting, but I couldn't eat it. I put the bowl in the kitchen. I thought, maybe if I wait, the pain will go away. I waited 1 hour. I waited 2 hours. But the pain did not stop. It got worse. It was a thump, thump, thump feeling. In English, we call this a throbbing pain. It feels like a tiny heart is beating inside your tooth. I tried to watch TV. I tried to read a book. But I could only think about my tooth. I tried to drink some warm water, but that hurt too. My tooth was sensitive to cold and sensitive to heat. I spent the whole night awake. I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning in my bed. When the sun came up on Wednesday morning, I knew what I had to do. I had to be a brave adult. I had to call the dentist. I was a little bit scared. My hands were shaking a little bit. I don't like talking on the phone in a different language, and I don't like the dentist. It was a double problem. I found the phone number on my computer. I dialed the number slowly. Ring, ring, ring. A lady with a very kind voice answered. She said, "Hello, this is Green Valley Dental. How can I help you today?" I took a deep breath. I said, "Hello, my name is Jessica. I have a very bad toothache. It hurts when I eat. It hurts when I sleep. Please help me." The lady was very nice. She said, "Oh, I am so sorry, Jessica. That sounds very painful." She looked at her calendar. She said, "We are very busy, but because you are in pain, I will squeeze you in. Please come to the office at 2 o'clock today." I said, "Thank you so much," and I hung up. Now I had to wait again. From 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock is a long time. I walked around my house. I looked at the clock every 5 minutes. Finally, it was 1:30. I put on my shoes. I put on my coat. I walked to the dentist's office. When I opened the door, ding! A little bell rang. The office was very quiet. It was very clean and very white. There were plants in the corner, and it had that dentist smell. It smells like soap, lemon, and medicine. It is a very clean smell. I walked to the front desk. The lady gave me a clipboard. She said, "Jessica, please write your name and your phone number here." I sat down in the waiting room. There were other people there. One man was reading a newspaper. One little girl was playing with a toy. She looked brave, so I tried to look brave too. Then I heard a sound from the back room. Whirr, whirr. Oh no, it was the drill. My heart started to go boom, boom, boom. I wanted to run away, but I stayed in my chair. After 10 minutes, a girl in blue clothes opened the door. Her name tag said, Sarah. She was the dental assistant. She said, Jessica, the doctor is ready for you now. I stood up. My legs felt very weak, like jelly. I followed her down a long hallway. There were many small rooms. Finally, we went into room number 4. In the middle of the room, there was a giant chair. It was huge. It looked like a chair for a king. Sarah said, Please, Jessica, sit down and relax. Relax? In this chair? That is a funny joke. I sat down. The chair was actually very soft. She put a plastic bib around my neck. I felt like a baby wearing a bib for dinner. Then, Sarah pushed a button. The chair started to move. It went down and back and back until I was laying down. I was looking at the ceiling. There was a big, round, bright light above my head. It was so bright, I had to close my eyes for a second. Then the dentist walked in. His name was Dr. Smith. He was wearing a white coat, a blue mask, and big glasses. He looked very smart. He said, Hello, Jessica. I heard you have a grumpy tooth. Let's see why it is so angry. I liked Dr. Smith. He was very funny. He put on his latex gloves. Snap went the gloves. He picked up a tiny mirror and a little silver hook. He said, Okay, Jessica, open your mouth very wide, like a big hippopotamus. Ah! So I opened my mouth very wide. He used the mirror to look behind my teeth. He looked at the top. He looked at the bottom. Then he tapped one tooth. Does this hurt? He asked. I said no. He tapped another tooth. Does this hurt? I said no. Then he tapped the back tooth on the left side. Ouch! Yes, that one! I cried. Dr. Smith looked closely. He said, I see it. You have a cavity. A cavity is a tiny hole in the tooth. Food and sugar get inside the hole and make the tooth hurt. I felt bad. I thought I should not have eaten that extra ice cream. Dr. Smith said, Don't worry, Jessica. I can fix this. We will clean the hole and put a filling inside. A filling is like a little plug to close the hole. But first, I must make the tooth go to sleep. This was the part I was afraid of. The needle. Dr. Smith saw my face. He said, Jessica, close your eyes and think of a beach. Think of the ocean. I closed my eyes. I felt a tiny, tiny pinch in my gum. 1, 2, 3. All done, he said. Wow, it did not hurt as much as I thought. After a few minutes, my mouth felt very strange. My lip felt like it was 10 times bigger than normal. My tongue felt heavy. I tried to talk, but I sounded like this. Wub wub glub. I couldn't feel anything on the left side of my face. My mouth was numb. That is a very important word. Numb. N-U-M-B. It means you cannot feel pain. Now the work began. Dr. Smith picked up the drill. Whirr. The sound was very loud. It was right next to my ear. I felt the tooth shaking. Bzzz. It felt like a tiny bee was dancing on my tooth. It was a very strange feeling, but because I was numb, there was no pain. I just sat there and looked at the light. Sarah, the assistant, used a little straw to suck up the water. Slurp, slurp, slurp. It sounded like a thirsty bird. Finally, the loud noise stopped. Dr. Smith said, Very good, Jessica. The tooth is clean. Now I will put the white filling inside. He put a little bit of special tooth glue into the hole. Then he used a bright blue light. The light was very pretty. He said, "This light makes the filling go from soft to hard. It only takes 30 seconds." When he was finished, he told me to bite down. "Does it feel normal?" he asked. I bit down. Crunch. It felt perfect. The hole was gone. Dr. Smith moved the chair up. I could sit up. Whew! I was so happy it was over. But I wasn't finished yet. Dr. Smith sat down and looked at me. He said, "Jessica, you are a good patient, but you must take better care of your teeth." He showed me a big model of a mouth with giant teeth. He said, "You must brush 2 times a day, once in the morning and once before you go to bed, and you must use floss." He showed me the little string. Floss cleans the places where your toothbrush cannot go. If you do this, you won't have more cavities. I promised him I would try my best. I walked to the front desk. I had to pay for the visit. It was a little bit expensive. I thought, brushing my teeth is much cheaper than the dentist. I walked outside. The sun was still shining. My mouth was still very numb. I tried to whistle a song, but I couldn't. I just blew air out of the side of my mouth. I looked in a window at my reflection. When I tried to smile, only the right side of my face moved up. I looked like a funny pirate. I went to the pharmacy next door. Dr. Smith gave me a paper for some medicine. The lady at the pharmacy was very helpful. She gave me a small bottle of pills. She said, "Take these if your tooth hurts later when the numbness goes away." I said, "Thank you." Or I tried to say it. It sounded like, "Thank you." I went home and laid down on my sofa. I was very tired. Being brave is hard work. I couldn't eat dinner because my mouth was still asleep. I had to wait 3 hours. When the feeling finally came back to my face, I was very happy. And guess what? The sharp pain was gone. My tooth felt strong again. I ate a piece of soft bread and drank some water. No pain. I felt like a new lady. So, that is my story about the dentist. It was a long day, but I learned a lot. I learned that the dentist is there to help us. I learned that a little pinch is better than a big toothache. And I learned that I need to brush my teeth more. Before I go, I want to say something very important. This is a brand new channel. I am so happy to be your English teacher. Because I am new, I really need your support. It would mean the world to me if you could like this video and share it with your friends or family who are also learning English. Every like and every share helps me make more videos for you. Also, I want to hear your stories. Please go to the comments below and write about your own experience with the dentist in just 1 sentence. For example, you can write, "I went to the dentist last year and the doctor was very kind." Or you can write, "I am scared of the dentist, but I go every 6 months." I promise I will read every single comment you write. I want us to be a big, happy community of learners. Thank you for spending time with me today. Remember these words: toothache, numb, cavity, and filling. Practice saying them out loud. You are doing a great job. Keep practicing, stay positive, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!